I was dancing. What?
Adam always dances during the countdown, and I had a feeling he'd do it again. So I waited for him to be in dance to cut the countdown.
I knew you knew I danced, so I'm like, I hope he cuts to me while I'm doing my dance.
It took you a minute. You're like, oh shit.
No. Zips up my pants.
Hello, Adam.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just got done watching Back to the Future.
It's good. I have it here on VHS.
Wow.
And then so it's not streaming at the moment, so I popped in my old DVD box set.
I have that too.
Do you have the widescreen? I realized I have the full screen.
I got wide. I had to go widescreen.
It was a gift like when it came out, and my family doesn't know the difference.
I know. I've been there.
I
also have Tony. Want to see what else I have?
What do you have?
Let me bring it up. Look at that, the DeLorean.
Whoa!
Lego DeLorean. Pretty sweet.
I have a Funko Pop DeLorean in the case, but not with Marty. When we were all at the office, my friend Kieran wanted the Marty McFly, but he didn't want the car. I'm like, so I'll have the car. So I have Batman with the headset and game controller inside the DeLorean right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right.
Very confusing. It's very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Back to the Future is turning 40, which means Adam, you're 60 now. I can't believe time flies.
Yeah, I'm older than the movie for sure.
But real quick, I want to talk about some things. If you're watching this live right now, tonight at midnight, you'll be able to watch a brand new episode of Zach and Miko's Midnight Spook Show. Now, Adam, I don't know if you ever heard about this show.
No.
Well, it's Zach and Miko, very famous comedian. He's had very successful podcasts. He watches horror movies with friends, and they've had guests like Jim Norton, TJ Miller, and Shane Gillis, who's hosted Saturday Night Live several times. And tonight's episode is me, Gil, and Manny Muscat. So
that's pretty sweet. Hey, that's the best Photoshop you've ever done. Did you?
I didn't do this. That was them. That was them.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that does not look like a Tony branded photo.
So yeah, we'll be on that show tonight at midnight, and then it's up on the channel, I think, for like 8 weeks, and then it goes behind the Gas Digital paywall. Very fun show. We all went to New York together. We had a really good time. This weekend, I'll be at the Mahoning Drive-In for the Little Shop of Horror Market. Apparently, they're going to have an actual Audrey 2 like thing that you do a photo with. Last week, I was at the Batman event. They had a Keaton Batmobile. It's the guy that I filmed the Keaton stuff with a few years ago. But the big one is VHS Fest this coming month. Adam said, Tony, I know I just moved, but I'm going to fly out to Pennsylvania for the whole weekend. He said that, and now he has to do it.
Is it a different Adam you're referring to? You know a few Adam Driver,
yeah, not
maybe?
you. Not you.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah.
I tried to think of like other Adams, and just none are springing to mind.
Adam Lambert. What do you want from me?
Adam Lambert will be at VHS.
Yeah. Confirmed Adam Lambert's going to be there. The American Idol sensation. Tony, you weren't born yet when Adam Lambert went through American Idol, so you wouldn't know.
No, I don't even know what American Idol is. That's how young I am.
The X Factor?
X Factor was my thing.
Yeah, that's right.
So VHS Fest is going to be a great time. It's always a great time, so I hope to see at least some of you there. Become a patron. A lot of fun stuff happening on Patreon. If you're a $10 patron for several months, you get new merch. I know a lot of people got the mini print of me as Fat Wolverine. It's hanging up on Prison Mike's refrigerator right now, and I'm like, it looks great. Buy some commentary tracks. Adam, I don't know if you saw this, but I released a commentary track album for every single Friday the 13th movie.
Cool. Oh, God. Still doing the promos?
Yes. Adam's jealous because he wasn't included. And Adam, you might be like, why wasn't I included in this? It's because I came up with the idea late and I knew you were moving. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. And then I was like, you know what? I'll get Gil to do it. And then Gil went, I'm gonna travel Asia for 5 weeks. And I went, never mind. I'm not even gonna bother him.
Yeah.
But it is out. You can either listen to it by becoming a Patreon, or you could buy it. And part 8's commentary track is with Captain Boomies. Adam, Remember when I told you Captain Boomies told me you sounded like an asshole on live stream, and then I was a bad friend and told you she said that?
Yeah.
She
That
has a
doesn't change.
TV show coming out tomorrow on the Design Network. Everyone, check out Captain Boomies TV show. If you have the Samsung TV Plus thing, it's a channel on there. I'm a little offended that I wasn't asked to be on the show, and then I realized I don't think she could compete with my star power. I
Yeah.
probably take attention away from her. Also, I don't own a yacht. I don't know if that might have had a play in why I wasn't on the show.
I think it's the first thing. Having Christopher Nolan as a director you've worked with under your belt,
Yeah.
that's intimidating for even the biggest of stars.
Yeah, and also I don't know anything about yachts other than they're in the water. So I guess check that out. It airs tomorrow night, or if you're listening to this tomorrow, it airs tonight. There's your plug, Captain Boomies. And part 4, Friday 13th, has Chris McGlover, who's in Back to the Future, which is what we're talking about today. See, I told you it'd be quick. Told you it'd be quick, Adam.
It all came full circle, jerk.
Adam, when
Yeah.
did you see Back to the Future? Was it when you graduated high school?
Yeah, when it went into the theaters, obviously. When I graduated high school, I went right after school. No, God, when did it come out even?
1985. It's the
1985.
40th anniversary.
Is it actually today, though, or when was the anniversary?
It might actually be coming up. It's around.
Oh, it
now.
hasn't. Okay. I did not see it in theaters because I was like 3 years old, but I did. I saw it on probably VHS or maybe on cable television back in the days, slang for back in the day. I remember being incredibly raptured by it, captivated, turned on a little bit, mainly from the incest in the first film, which I think is held up impeccably well.
Not even Leah Thompson was hot. It was just the incest idea.
It was the incest that really did it for me. I said, yes, please, more of this. I love Back to the Future. I love Back to the Future 2. I waffle between which one I like more, and then 3 is never in the conversation as far as which is the best. But I don't mind 3. It's still a fun time. It's a great trilogy.
3 is fine. It doesn't hold a candle.
I am always blown away though when I remember that 2 and 3 were shot at the same time as a companion piece, because 1 and 2 feel like the completed set, and then 3 is like the afterthought.
Yeah,
so it's kind of wild that it didn't work out that way.
I know. I mean, I saw this, I guess, on cable growing up. Also, the anniversary is July 3rd, which I think I had this originally scheduled, but then I moved the May-June wrap-up will be on July 3rd. I moved this early. And also just because I really missed you, Adam, and I really wanted to do a video with you.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
It's been a while. You were in the last wrap. I missed the May wrap-up, so you were in the wrap-up before that. But
you didn't do a May wrap-up?
I got so freaking busy, dude.
Wow.
I got really so we were doing a May-June wrap-up. But yeah, Back to the Future. This came from the writer Bob Gale. He was like real into the time machine when he was a kid. And it's a story he really wanted to tell about, like, he apparently was going through his father's stuff as a kid, and he found his yearbook. And he found out that his dad was like the class president, and he had no idea. And then he just had this idea. It was like, what if I was at school the same time as my dad? And he had this whole like that's where the idea came from. Like, what if you time travel and you were the same age as your dad? And I was thinking about it. I'm like, wow, I'd hang out with a guy who couldn't speak English that well. It probably wouldn't be as entertaining as this movie. But for him, he thought it was a very entertaining idea. So he wrote it. Apparently no one wanted to like make it. Like Spielberg knew about the script. It was like, why has no one made that yet? So I think Spielberg got the ball rolling on it. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, who really killed it with this trilogy. What has he done? Let me just take a look at what he's done recently.
Oh, Tony, I know right off the top of my head.
I'm sure it's really great film because he did, Contact and stuff. Well, what has he done recently?
If you head over to Disney Plus right now, you can watch Pinocchio, the live action Pinocchio, Tom Hanks, and a CG Pinocchio.
I'm sorry, a live action Disney remake with Tom Hanks? I must have not seen any of the posters in the theater when this came out. Well,
no, that went straight to Disney Plus. That's an exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was challenging to get through 30 minutes before shutting it off.
Right. Hey, remember when he did the Polar Express and then he was like, I'm just gonna do this for years.
Yeah.
He kept doing CGI digital movies until Flight came out.
I don't think this is him, so I'm actually going to look before I say
Mm.
something stupid. And then if it isn't, it is. Okay. So he did Here with Tom Hanks also. I think that was that his last movie he did?
This is the last. Yes, he did a TV show after that, but yes, that's his most recent movie is Here with.
So Here was.
Oh, I heard about that.
Here was
yeah.
Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. He got the band back together from Forrest Gump, which is a fantastic movie. But Here was a weird experimental film where the whole thing was presented from one stock shot from a tripod, and then they just kept changing the house, the time period. And it was kind of interesting for about 45 minutes, but I just could not endure anymore.
I appreciate he's kind of like Cameron, where like they really are like pushing new film techniques and experimenting with big budgets. He gets his stuff out faster than Cameron. Cameron takes like 10 years on one Avatar movie.
Do we even count Cameron anymore? He's just gonna live and die now by Avatar. That's all he's gonna do. So
I guess
it's like he's gone already from the zeitgeist, and what's left is the Avatar Cameron.
Yeah,
so I think he's a new thing.
Honestly, I think Pinocchio might have been like, hey, I want to make this real experimental film, but I need a payday. I'll do Pinocchio for you.
Yeah. It's like 2 for the studio, 1 for me, or 3 for the studio, 1 for me.
Speaking of like people like with Spielberg, Amblin Entertainment, like why do they make so many Jurassic Park movies? It's like so Spielberg can make an easy $1 billion and then he can just put whatever Granddad movie he puts out in theaters and it doesn't matter if it bombs because Jurassic World made $1 billion.
Pretty much.
I don't hate it. It's smart. It's smart.
Well, Spielberg only produces those. It's not like he's directing them.
Yeah, he produces, but like his company, like Amblin Entertainment, like makes them.
Sure.
People are like, why do they do this? It's like so he could do all those movies you don't watch.
Yeah.
That's why he does it. It doesn't matter if the Fablemans died at the theaters because Jurassic World Dominion made $1 billion. By the way,
I think that's kind of what the Disney's doing these days. It's like, all right, we have to fund Pixar. They're trying to make a new movie that's original and no one's going to see it. So Lilo and Stitch, $1 billion. That'll hold up the other ships.
Which I saw. I know what I haven't watched all of original Lilo and Stitch all the way through. So I saw the new movie with the twins. They liked it.
You're part of the problem, Tony. You're part of the problem.
Well, they wanted to see the live action Stitch.
Show them the fucking animated one. It's
they
better.
did watch the animated one. But because
I have to go.
Adam.
What?
Because some asshole showed them Godzilla and they love Godzilla, they kept seeing the preview where Stitch is pretending to be Godzilla. And they just kept asking my mom to see the new one. Or my sister. It's funny. She's like, they make me play him doing the Godzilla thing over and over again. Oh, by the way, the twins are now hooked on Alien versus Predator, but that's a different story.
AVP what? AVP?
Okay, real quick. They saw the picture for the new Predator, and they recognized it from like just figures that I have in the basement.
Sure.
And they kept asking my sister to play it. Obviously, she didn't. And they asked me, and I'm like, well, I can't show you any of these. They're all rated R. And then I'm like, well, except for one. So the only one I can show them is Alien versus Predator, which is the worst one, and they love it. They love the Alien and they love the Predator.
That's great. It's a fun, stupid movie. I don't mind.
More like a little kid, yes.
Yeah, I don't mind the first AVP. I would never sit through it again, but it's fine.
No, I hate it. So
you do?
That's the cruel irony of like this franchise I love. I get to watch with my nieces, but I got to watch the worst one. God damn it.
The story is just the stupidest shit ever.
But more on that later.
Yeah.
Dean Cundey, my favorite cinematographer, who was like the king in the 80s and 90s, he shot this bad boy. And Alan Silvestri did the music. Another composer I love.
Yeah.
Even when it's a bad movie, his music's great. And you might want an example of that. And to that, I say, come back Monday when I review Judge Dredd, starring Sylvester Stallone. It's gonna be a fun one.
Rob Schneider vehicle.
Yeah, thank you for saying his name right. My guests in the episode kept calling him Rib Schnidler or Rob Schneidley. They couldn't remember his name, and they just kept saying it wrong.
Okay.
That'll be up later on Patreon. I just uploaded it right before we went live. So they really wanted Michael J. Fox in this, and I think it's because they love the horror film Class from 1984. I'm pretty sure that's what they watched, and they went, yes, Michael J. Fox. By the way, they played this on Joe Bob's Drive-In like a few years ago. And I was watching my ex. I'm like, that kid looks like Michael J. Fox. And then, like, I Googled it. Like, holy shit, that's Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, wow.
They weren't able to get Michael J. Fox, Adam, because he was on Family Ties. They're like, oh, he's too busy doing Family Ties. We'll get someone else. So they screen tested C. Thomas Howell. And you're probably saying, who's C. Thomas Howell? Well, obviously, he's the star of the 80s blackface comedy Soul Man, which I reviewed with Manny Muskets.
Yikes.
Have you seen Soul Man?
I have not.
Elaine from Seinfeld's in it, and James Earl Jones. Real quick, he can't, his dad won't pay for his college, and all the scholarships he's looking for are for black people, so he chemically changes his skin and gets jerry curls, and he gets a scholarship. That's what the movie is. That's why we titled the episode, This is a Real Movie.
Wow.
So C. Thomas Howell, it didn't work for him. So they got Eric Stoltz, baby.
Yeah.
This is one of the most famous behind the scenes things of a movie. They shot a lot of the movie with Eric Stoltz, and everyone admitted he's a good actor. He just wasn't right for this. I know there's a lot of back in the day, be like, oh, he sucks so bad they fired him. It's sometimes you can have a really good actor that's just not right for the part. So they thought they could make it work with him. It didn't work. I've seen some footage of it, and yeah, I can tell why they wanted to get rid of him. But luckily, Michael J. Fox apparently read the script, and it was in the interview, it was really funny. He's like, screw it, I just won't sleep. So he was literally getting 2 hours of sleep between going from Family Ties and then driving to the Back to the Future set. They shot all the 50s stuff first, and then they demolished everything and rebuilt the 80s stuff. So that was kind of cool how they did that. And yeah, let's get into this. Starts off, obviously, Back to the Future, so you know what movie you're watching. We get some good visual storytelling here, Adam. I
love this. I love it.
I love when movies do this. So we get million clocks. So we see there's a time element. We get to know a little bit about Dr. Brown here. His mansion was destroyed, sold off. We find out that Huey Lewis in the News sings The Power of Love. Get used to that song, Adam. It'll play a lot.
There's 2 Huey Lewis songs in this film.
Yeah. And then we get this story about plutonium theft that happened, which really should be a bigger deal, I think.
The government probably should be a little less lax on that than they are.
I don't know, Adam, if I meet you in the parking lot at night and you go, here's some plutonium I stole, I'm running as far and fast as I can away from you. Yeah. I'm I don't want to have anything to do with this.
I don't know. How old is Michael J. Fox in this movie, his character?
I think they're supposed to be 15 probably.
Yeah, he probably doesn't really know what the fuck plutonium is. I mean, he's probably what is this green glowing stuff? I've heard about it, but I don't really know what it does.
He is a little checked out. For example, he sees this giant speaker, and he's like, I'll just stand right in front of it and crank it to 11. Fucking blows himself across the room.
They set the tone that he's a little dangerous, he's a little careless, and he's a little wild.
He's very likable in this movie.
He's very likable.
Very likable. Yeah, he gets the call from Dr. Brown, who it is funny. He's just by the way, don't use that thing. It's too strong. He's yeah, I know. So he tells him to meet him that night at the Twin Pines Mall. Then he goes to school. He meets, was it Jennifer? His girlfriend's Jennifer.
Yeah, she's going to get replaced in the sequel.
I was going to say, he meets Jennifer 1. Yeah. She will get replaced by Elizabeth Shue after this.
You know, you skipped over the fact that Doc also has all these Rube Goldberg machines.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
going on, which I really like that, showcasing quickly that this guy's inventing a lot of stuff and he's not around because the dog dish is full. And like you said, it's just great visual storytelling out of the gates.
By the way, I don't know what it was about 80s and 90s with scientists with Rube Goldberg machines, because Edward Scissorhands, Vincent Price has the big machine to make cookies.
It's not just scientists; they have it in Goonies too. They got that whole ridiculous.
But I recently did Casper from 1995, where they have that machine that gets you ready in the morning. I was what was everyone's deal with weird Rube Goldberg machines?
The funniest I think I ever laughed at a cutaway Family Guy joke was when Peter had the Rube Goldberg breakfast making machine, and it starts from one side and it goes through this whole elaborate thing, and it ends with a gun pointed at Peter and then a plate underneath the gun. It just shoots him. He's like, what was the point of any of that? It didn't make me breakfast at all.
I love
So-
it hearing.
But this is what 2 actors are replaced in between these 2 movies, right? She's replaced, and the dad. I'm forgetting this name.
Yes, Crispin Glover does
Crispin Glover,
get replaced.
yes.
If we do Back to the Future 2, we'll talk about the whole story behind that.
Yeah,
That
I do know that story. It's brutal.
Yeah, it made changes in Hollywood on how they do things.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we meet the teacher played by James Tolkien, Mr. Strickland,
who doesn't change his age from the 30-year span. It's great.
They add, like, you see that he does have like wrinkles and stuff on his neck, but he barely changed. Him and Dr. Brown, I don't know, they barely age.
Yeah, but he makes a joke about it though when he sees him. He goes, "Was this guy always bald?" Did he ever?
Yeah.
He's like, "Does he ever have hair?"
Hey, look, it happens. A real life actor in this movie has been bald for a very long time. I'll point him out when he comes.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know if I go to a school and the principal says your dad sucks and you suck and you'll always suck. I'm like, that's just gonna make me not want to try very hard.
Yeah, it's giving Snape energy.
Yeah.
You saw the
Also,
Potter movies, didn't you?
Yes, I've seen them.
Okay, all right. Sorry.
By the way, he's always a dick. He was in the He-Man movie as a dick.
Yes.
And then he's in the original Top Gun, where he basically does the same thing. He's like, "Fuck you, Maverick, you suck, but we're out of options, so you're going to do the thing."
He's not the guy from. I might be confusing him. Is he the dude that's in Falling Down that has the weapons shop? Is that the same guy?
Maybe.
I get on you, man, just like this, man. Falling Down.
I haven't watched it. I forget. And you know
Gun
what?
Shop.
And you know what else I forgot, Adam?
What?
That the name of the game is Super Chats. Get your Super Chats in.
Oh my God.
To answer a question or say something within reason, please get your Super Chats in. Sorry, I forgot to do. Without Joey C, I never know when to do that. I become too dependent on him.
I don't think that's him. Sorry, you're talking about Super Chats. I'm lost in my own fucking world. No, it's not him.
Make sure you Super Chat to the Hack the Movies channel. Don't do what Adam does. Movie. He already has 100,000 subscribers. He doesn't need the Super Chat.
103,000 subscribers, Tony.
Okay, well, this is solo review now. I
was gonna say, I think that's a call for celebration.
There you go. So yeah, he's
I know you're like, how the fuck is he doing this right now?
How did you do that?
It's a secret.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis, this was his acting debut as the teacher in charge of the Battle of the Bands. The behind the scenes documentary is pretty fun with him. He seemed like he had a lot of fun on this. And also he was not taking acting seriously. He's like, I'll be devastated if this doesn't work for my career. So it's kind of funny that you have this, like, you know, big musician guy not liking any of the music that plays.
Yes.
This band is playing The Power of Love, I believe, and he's just like, it's too loud, get off the stage.
Yeah, the first, I'd say 30 minutes of this movie is really hard on The Power of Love. They go all in.
Yeah.
It's like 3 different times it plays, but damn, it's a good song.
It is good. It is good. I am going to
be... I love it.
So all this stuff we're seeing will get called back later. Like we see re-elect Goldie Wilson for mayor.
Yes. Foreshadow. Love the foreshadows throughout.
Yep. We see the Lion Estates, and it sucks. It's all like broken down and graffitied. And then we meet George McFly and Biff, one of cinema's greatest villains, Biff. Who's
Tony? This is a thing I honestly just dawned upon me today because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But did they name him Biff after toilets because Biff is a type of a porta potty and he gets shit on in every single movie? Or am I overthinking this?
I mean, that's one of the things where I'm like, you know what? That might have been a really clever idea. Yeah. I don't know if that's what it is.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do some research. I don't know. Maybe we'll call up Tom Wilson and we'll ask him, hey, were you named after a shitter? And he'll be like, who are you? How did you get this number?
Cheese it. And then we take off running.
So I like that he borrowed George's car and then he was drunk driving and totaled the car and got mad at George. And it's like, my insurance isn't going to pay for it. It's you. And he's like, and I spilled my beer. And he's like, oh, by the way, do my job for me. Just bullying the hell out of George.
Yeah. Also, this is he does the classic hello anybody home, and this is one of those things where I've always misquoted it, kind of like the Luke I am your father thing where you just kind of change. I always did hello McFly anyone home, but he never says it in that order. I think it's better though. Hello McFly.
They should go back and change it.
They should change it. Yeah, the Zemeckis cut, the hello McFly cut.
It took me years and years and years to put together that Dave McFly is Jimmy Olsen from the old Superman movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It took me a long time to be like, wait, who is that guy? And I'm like, holy shit. Spent my whole life not knowing that was him. But yeah, he's working at McDonald's. I love that. What was that?
The jailbird. It's so good.
I love they were excited for Uncle Joey to get out of jail, but then he didn't make parole.
I don't. Who's the sister in this? I don't recognize this actress, but she's really funny in the small.
I have it up. It's Linda McFly is Wendy Jo Sperber. She's no longer with us.
Oh damn! Well, that took down the energy in the room.
Sorry. She did a lot of TV. Let me see. Well, it seems like
she was just really funny in this role. I like the small of it. She's like, hey guys, just I guess like her dumpy and
her biggest thing outside of these movies looks like she was like a main character in a show called Babes. But other than that, like big TV shows, but it was always like one part. Like I'm seeing Home Improvement, Jag, 8 Simple Rules, Married with Children. So yeah, I like her. I like that she's chasing boys.
Yes.
Which, it's not much of a looker, I guess.
No.
And I like that the mom is like, you shouldn't chase boys. You shouldn't be boy hungry. They'll come to you like your father did. And then we hear the story. That her dad accidentally ran over George and they had to take care of him. And then she fell in love with him.
The foreshadowing, the foreshadowing, but just like the setup of this whole scene is fantastic because you're going to see such a change by the time the end comes around.
Yeah,
like we have him watching his favorite show in the background. He's they're eating cereal and shit for food. They're dressed like vagrants. Like the whole thing is just miserable. The town is dilapidated and it all just gets this glow up
because it was. Because that was like a thing in the 80s, like these big shopping malls were opening and it was like killing small businesses and kind of ruining small towns. And now the shopping malls are going away.
Yeah.
And
it's such a fun butterfly effect too, where just George's one movement of like decking the shit out of Biff completely fixes the entirety of his life.
By the way, the makeup effects are great in this. They aged all the actors up by like 30 years. And it looks incredible. He meets the Doc at Twin Pines Mall, which I was actually at this year. Adam, there I am.
I noticed the J.C. Penney's no longer in
now
frame.
It's what is that, a 24 Fitness, Easy Fitness? I even have a video from when I was there featuring a guy who will be banned from the channel after Monday's episode. Let's watch that video now. We're here. We're at the, what is this? Puente Hills Mall? Yeah, we're at the mall and there it is. This is the parking lot where they went back in time. We did it. Vito, we went back in time. We're here. Oh, God. I'm no longer friends with Vito because he's been doing meth and he texted me 20 times screaming at me on a Vegas trip. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with Vito until he kicks
for real.
Well, he's taking ADHD med, but it's not prescribed and he's abusing it. So he's basically the equivalent of meth.
Okay. Oh, wow.
All right. They text you in crazy rants. I'm like, all right, I'm done. But we had a lot of fun there. It was a fun time at the mall. So yeah, he shows off the time machine, a DeLorean, Adam. It's a nice DeLorean. Originally, the time machine was going to be a refrigerator. They were going to build a time machine into a refrigerator.
I don't like that.
They decided it should be mobile to make it like just more fun so they could travel with the time machine. They were afraid kids would be locked into refrigerators, but don't worry, Adam. This idea of a refrigerator and a nuclear device would come back later. Spielberg never forgot this, Adam. It came back later in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yes.
They were like, wait, remember that idea we had for an atom bomb in a refrigerator? Well, now refrigerators don't lock, so we don't have to worry about kids locking themselves in. Let's do that idea.
Everybody's favorite nuke the fridge scene. Classic.
We love it. We love this movie.
It.
Inadvertently led to the nuke the fridge scene.
Yes.
So yeah, they send Einstein, the dog, back in time. This effect is still rough. This effect has always bothered me with the flame.
Yeah, did they rotoscope them, or is it green screen?
It's almost like they're definitely chroma keyed in, but it's not like the flames aren't quite right. They're not lit right, and it's one of those like I wish they could go back and fix that effect, but then I'm afraid of an ET Star Wars situation. Well, they'll just change too many things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? It's a couple seconds long. Who cares? It's fine.
They always use it in promos too. They're proud of this shot.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. They're always proud of this shot.
Yeah. It's probably the worst looking shot in the entire film.
It really is. I mean, it was cooler back then, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But Einstein's fine. He went a minute ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
I like when it goes back, it's on fire, and then when it comes back, it's like frozen.
Yes, that's cool.
He shows them how the time machine works. You can plug in certain dates. I like that Jesus's birthday is December 25th, 0000, which historians think is not actually right. So if you were to go that day, you'd be like, oh, I'm early or late, depending on when it was.
One of the historians is actually Jesus in a mustache. So that's how he gets the word out.
And you know what? Maybe there was a deleted scene where Doc Brown, he goes back in time to Rome and leaves an old printing press, and that's how they got newspapers in Gladiator 2. I told someone recently that there's newspapers in Gladiator 2, and they went, wait, what? Yeah, a guy's just reading a newspaper.
Where Doc Brown goes back far enough, and he actually created Jesus, like he is the inventor of the stories in the Bible. Could you imagine? That would be wild.
Well, if you factor in the Back to the Future ride, like he's back in time with like T-Rexes and stuff. He probably, and the cartoon show. Apparently he went all over the place in the cartoon show. He's like just rewriting history left and right.
Yeah. Was he with his family then? Because I know, he spent a lot of time on siesta with the fam after the third movie.
Look, I never actually watched the cartoon show. All I remember is like at Universal Studios, they would still have stuff left over from the cartoon show. And I'm like, I think it lasted one season. Why are there still cartoon show stuff? I do miss the Back to the Future because now it's all Simpsons. And
I never got to go on it.
Oh, it does. By the way, going on the Simpsons ride, I'm like, oh, I remember why I didn't do the Back to the Future ride much. It's one of the few rides that gets me like real motion sickness.
Okay.
With the screens.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was basically the same setup as the Simpsons, just a different video plays.
Sure.
So he tells them he could go back to November 5th, 1955, which is when he bumped his head and came up with the idea for the flux capacitor. And then he shows off the plutonium that he brags about stealing. He's like, yeah, I've been working with these Libyans. I told them I'd build a bomb, but instead I did this. And I'd be like, I'm sorry, Doc Brown, are you committing treason with terror? Can you say that again? How did you get involved with Libyans? That's what they never explained how he got involved with Libyans. I
took it like the intro to The Naked Gun where Frank Drebin is there and he just, Frank Drebin, police squad. He beats the crap out of him, steals the device and goes.
How do you feel about the new Naked Gun coming out?
I thought the trailer looked great.
Yeah,
I'm in. I like that they are really playing into the fact that it's like not a reboot but a sequel, and they pay a lot of respect to the original. Because I mean, come on, it's Leslie Nielsen, and you got God, I hate that their names are like exactly the same. Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen's character.
But he's not playing his character, he's playing his son.
I know, but even that's like a joke. They're kind of making fun of. I like that all of them have sons that are like around the same.
Yes. The fun, I laughed the hardest in the trailer when he's just driving the car and someone hands him a coffee while he's on the highway. I'm like, this is perfect. If
talk about
the
movies
like this.
Talk about movies that really hold up. I freaking love those. I watched the first one the other day, and then like I've even gone back and watched some of the TV show. The TV show is great.
Oh yeah, the Police Files, right?
Yeah, the Police Squad. I love. There's all these like. My favorite is the elevator gag, where like they'll be having a serious conversation. The elevators are open. They'll be like cowboys and Indians fighting.
I did go through and binge those on YouTube because they're available on YouTube a long time ago. But they used some of the jokes I remember from the show in the movie. Yeah. I don't remember the second movie being that good. I feel like the third kind of brought it back, but the second one was a little weaker.
I like all three.
Okay, I have to rewatch. I've seen the first one a bunch of times. I need to rewatch 2 and 3.
So yeah, he puts the plutonium in. He's planning on going to the future.
Yeah.
I think to 2015. I can't wait to review that movie and talk about how different 2015 was. So he wants to go to the future, but oh no, Adam, the Libyans. Yeah, they come in, they blow him the fuck away.
Just freaking body him. He gets cooked, Tony, which is really funny because, you know, I have kids, so they say, you got cooked or whatever. I'm cooking, let them cook. Yeah. That term is used in this movie. So still 40 years later, one of the musicians says towards the end of the movies, something like, let him cook or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, it's relevant still.
Well, I get the whole let him cook, but then there's like cooked is a bad thing. And I'm like, all right, there's too many uses of cooked right now.
Yeah, I know. It's complicated. Well, it's stupid is what it is.
I can't keep up with the young slang. I'm always like, yeah, that Riz is cooking. And then I do this. And I'm like, am I hit yet? Am I hit?
Oh, no, but
so
hip to be square. Hip to be square.
It is. So Marty is just like, you know what? I guess I'll use the time machine. I didn't listen to anything he said the last 15 minutes, and I'll drive really fast away.
Something about a fucking flux capacitor and 1.21 gigawatts or gigawatts. I don't know what any of that is. Yeah, how fast does he have to go? Is it 88 or
88 miles per hour?
88. Yep.
And 1.21 gigawatts of power.
Gigawatts. Yeah. Yes. 1.21 gigawatts. I love it. What?
Great Scott. Very quotable. So yeah, he drives into the past, crashes into Scarecrow and into old man, whatever his face is, barn, which they mentioned. He's like, he had this crazy idea about breeding pine trees, which is why it's called the Twin Pine Mall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never got that. That's awesome.
So he crashes in. I like that it does look like a spaceship, kind of. The old farmer is checking it out. By the way, the old farmer is the crazy grandfather at the beginning of Silent Night, Deadly Night. I reviewed that back in December, and I looked at him and I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? I've seen that guy's face a million times. I look, I'm like, oh, it's the old farmer from Back to the Future.
Wow.
They're remaking Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Of course, they're remaking everything. Of course,
they're remaking everything pretty much. But that one might be good. The kid thinks, because this is like in the height of like Tales from the Crypt and whatnot, like the comic series. He's like, it's an alien. He's taking on human form. So he chases him, and Marty drives over one of the pine trees. So now it's just a lone pine, Adam. I love this when he goes to Lion Estates. This is not even built yet. I don't know why it takes him so long to figure out what happened. It's like, you time traveled, you dumb asshole. You were in a time machine.
Also, they took a long fucking time to build that town. Like,
that's 30 years.
30 years? My development in when I was in South Carolina, they were popping developments up in like 2 weeks. Full developments getting built.
Well, Adam, you know,
I know technology's advanced, but
there's also technology. Also, I don't know. So we could get into a whole conversation about illegal immigrants, but let's just keep going, Adam. Let's just keep going. There might be a reason that things got built faster. I don't know.
Sure.
Anyway, he goes into town. I love that everyone thinks he's a sailor because of his vest. Like, oh, what'd you do? Get off the boat? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes into a diner, and this is where he meets Biff, his father. And look at that handsome devil in the back there, Adam. That is Billy Zane.
No way.
That is Billy. I don't know if he's in the other two, but that is 100%
shit.
Young Billy Zane, who we all know.
The Titanic man himself.
The hero of Titanic. He's the hero.
Yes, right.
Adam, he saved that little girl and made sure she got on that lifeboat at the end.
Right.
That was very heroic, Adam. Would you have done that? No.
No, God no. I'd use her as a stepping stone to hop onto that door with Leo and push Kate Winslet into the ocean, into the cold depths of hell.
He's also one of my heroes, the Phantom from The Phantom.
That movie sucks.
I'm going to pretend you never said that to maintain our friendship.
Pretend all you want. How many sequels do they make to that pile of shit movie? 0 is the answer.
There was a direct-to-video Phantom movie.
Was there a Phantom cut? Was there like a director's cut of that one that someone online is going to tell me is better than... It makes it all good, Adam. The whole movie's great.
No,
Phantom cut.
Already great, Adam. The Phantom is great. When's the last time you watched The Phantom?
I don't think I've ever fully watched it because once he got on a horse, in his, like the white horse with his all purple outfit, I'm like, no, this is not working at all for me.
Adam, it's because when it was a comic strip, they needed his colors to pop out against the green jungle.
It's not a comic strip when it's in movie form, Tony. Heavy sighs from both of us in tandem.
We've been streaming the other way too long.
Yeah, I know.
We now know when to heavy sigh.
We know when to heavy sigh, when to be disappointed with each other.
Anyway, Adam's last episode. So Billy Zane's there. Looking good.
You got that right, Tony. You got that right.
By the way, Billy Zane, I wonder if that is toupee because apparently he's just always had a toupee on his whole career. I don't know.
Listen to your friend Billy Zane. He's a cool dude. It's a walk-off.
It's a walk-off. It's a walk-off. I gotta watch Zoolander again.
Oh, it's still great.
Not as good as the Phantom. So yeah, he meets his young father, George, and he's like, man, my dad's a real loser.
Yeah, he sucks.
And then this is the beginning of Marty McFly saves black people. Because he gives the mayor the idea to run for mayor. He's like, you'll be mayor one day. He's like, that's a great idea.
Yep.
By the way, a few years ago, we went to PA HorrorCon and they had a Back to the Future reunion. It was one of the band members, the first Jennifer, a kid from the movie, and the mayor.
Okay.
I know what you're saying. Like, oh, what? Leah Thompson wasn't there? Because no. And we did karaoke that night. And Adam, I'm going to tell you, the fucking guy who played the mayor killed it on karaoke.
Nice.
He the whole bar was fucking loving him. He was awesome. So yeah, I like that. He's like, yeah, Goldie, whatever. I'll run for mayor. And then his boss is all racist. He's like, a colored mayor. That'll be the day.
Does this cafe stay in business in the future too, or is it renamed?
I think it's renamed in the future.
Because they show the jukebox in the corner, and that becomes like a Pepsi machine or something.
Yeah. So yeah, he follows his dad, and we find out that the reason George was hit by what's her face's dad was because he was a peeping Tom. Adam, this is what you had to do back in the day before internet porn. You had to climb into a tree in broad daylight with binoculars.
Yeah, it was the struggle was real. I know because I was, of course, a teenager in 1985.
In the 50s, yes, you would have been.
Sorry, the 50s, yes, the 50s, yes.
So yeah, I love that. I love the realization where he, like, the story's been told his whole life, and he's like, "My dad's a peeping Tom." Like, he's grossed out by it.
This is probably the one scene in the movie that would definitely turn some heads in the new generation of folks. Like, when it came out, this was looked at as like what a silly little rascal. But now it would be like, oh my God, this guy's garbage. Get him off the streets.
Nah, I think he's just a silly little rascal.
Okay.
I was watching it through a 2025 lens. I'm like, look at that guy. He's a character.
Oh, you okay. Well, you would know. You're the voice of the new generation.
Yeah, and I said that while watching it on my phone while peeking into my neighbor's house on a tree.
You're watching Back to the Future on your iPhone with one hand and the other hand, of course, on your private parts. Yeah, binoculars. Just
So yeah, Marty, even though he knows what the story is, for some reason he feels the need to save his dad.
It's instinct. It's instinct.
What, to save someone in front of? That was not my instinct. I feel like sucks for that guy, and I keep walking. So yeah, Marty gets hit. What
happened to that Titanic scenario a second ago? Have we switched roles now? Now I'm the guy that's saving people.
Adam, I'm not known for my consistency. Okay. So yeah, he wakes up. He thinks he's home because he hears his mom, and he technically does, but it's the young version, and
The
she's
hot
hot.
version. Yes.
Yeah. Leah Thompson, not the hottest Leah Thompson. I still think that's Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck, yeah.
Howard the Duck is a pretty hot Leah Thompson.
She can get it for sure.
Yes,
and she does get it, I believe.
I mean, it's not a Leah Thompson movie you want to watch, but
No,
I mean,
no,
she does look pretty damn good in that one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she is boy crazy. All that shit she said earlier, total lie.
Boy crazy is an understatement. This cat is in heat. She is she is ready to go. Every time Marty's in the room, she is on fire for him.
Yeah. And I love this fucking joke. I watched this a few years ago with friends, and like we all just forgot this was a joke, and we burst out laughing where they see little Joey, and he just goes, "Yeah, get used to these bars, kid."
So good.
And I love they're like, he just loves being in there. We just leave him in there all the time. It's like, wow, I can just spend his life
just straight up shit talking a little baby. It's awesome.
So they pull the TV in and they watch a brand new episode of a show. But of course, Marty, who was not told the rules of time travel, is like, that's a classic. I've watched this one before. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I feel like I'd say all those same stupid things just instinctively.
Yeah. But then he forgot. I forgot to mention that he has Emmett Brown's address. So he has to go look for his place. And he does. We see the nice big family mansion Emmett had before he burned it down and lived in a garage. And he has his brain machine, his mind reading machine. That apparently doesn't work.
No, I mean, he's still tinkering. He's trying to find his niche. You know? His niche.
So I love that he's like telling him, he's like, I'm from the future. He's like, yeah, right. Who's the president? And he's like, Ronald Reagan. He's like, the actor. I'm like, that's funny.
Well, it gets funnier when he doubles down on the joke, because then he sees the video camera later and he goes, wait, people are like recording on these things? Well, no wonder the president has to be an actor. It's on camera all the time.
He has little stuff like that where he's guessing about the future, but then like Michael J. Fox doesn't correct him. He's like, yes, from all the nuclear war, no doubt.
There's a lot of lines from Doc that just kind of go, they went past me a few times watching it, but I really like the under breath line when Michael J. Fox goes, what does he say? This is heavy stuff, Doc. And Doc goes, what does gravity have to do with any of this, Marty?
Oh, yeah. And then later on, he's like, you said heavy again. Is there something wrong with the Earth's gravitation? So yeah, he's trying to convince him. So eventually he convinces him by taking him to the time machine and showing him the flux capacitor. He's like, I know how you got that bump in the head. You were on a porcelain seat. You fell. You saw that. So then he's like, okay, we got to get rid of this thing. This is when he's watching the tape. I don't know how they connected. I feel like I don't know if that was even possible. But they're watching the tape. He's learning everything. Then we learned earlier in the film that the clock tower, someone is trying to preserve it because it was struck by lightning. And it stopped working. And I was like, wait a minute. They're just fixing that now? Why wouldn't you have fixed that the year it happened?
You know how long it's taken him to build developments, Tony. It's 30 years to get this shit done. Come on.
I don't know. It just feels kind of stupid to have the one point of having a giant clock in your town square is so people know the time.
They didn't have funding. They didn't have funding. They didn't have budgets.
And then Mayor Goldie, 30 years later, still didn't fix it. Oh, he's running for re-election. I'm sure he'll fix it in his second term. So yeah, they were like, all right, well, we don't have plutonium. Lightning will do it. And we, just by luck, we know when exactly lightning will strike. Yes. And he tells him, we got to get you back to the future. And he points into the screen.
He breaks the fourth wall. I love that.
Because you see, he was from the future. Now he's in the past. And then he has to go back to the future. I know John Mulaney has that whole...
I actually thought it was kind of like a meta joke because he points to us and says the future because we're technically from the future watching this play out in the past.
That also works too.
Yeah.
Now there's like what you call it? John Mulaney has a whole stand-up bit about how it should be called Back to the Past. I'm like, no, it's not how that works.
No.
Everything else is funny in that stand-up special, but every time I get to that, I go, shut up, John Mulaney. But they got to do it soon because everyone's disappearing in this photograph.
Yep.
Shouldn't also the photograph disappear? And shouldn't he like disappear for? I don't know. I don't know how it works. But basically, everyone is disappearing.
It's a height thing, so it's just starting from the tallest and it's moving its way down the photo.
So it's like, all right, we're under the gun here. We got to figure out how to do this before I'm no longer alive. They sneak into the school, and now I'm triggered by this image because so many people have taken this scene and deep.
Well, wait, hang on. The oldest brother was disappearing first. That makes the most sense.
I guess it does.
Yeah. All right, keep going. We're making sense of it. We're making sense of a movie that doesn't make sense if you think about it. Yeah, but whatever. Okay.
This scene triggers me because so many people deep fake Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. onto this scene, and it went like viral.
Gross.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. No.
I will say Tom Holland does look a good amount like Michael J. Fox in this movie, but I'd rather jump off a cliff than watch a remake of Back to the Future. Although Zemeckis has said many times, over my dead body, and then the studios are like, we can wait. We can wait.
I had some thoughts about that toward the end, but I do like he's trying to get George to hook up with the girl, and she's just not paying attention to him. I feel like everyone's had that. There's been moments like in high school stuff where a girl really liked me and I didn't like them, and I'd be like, look at my friend here. They probably like you. And they just didn't go for it. That's the struggle Marty has right now. It's like, hey, will you bang George instead of me?
I don't think I've ever had that issue in my life, Tony, but yeah, sure. We've all had that issue. That's fine.
You know, I always feel like I have relatable stories, and then I stream with you, and I'm just like, never mind.
Hey, if you back up a frame, can you do that? Do you have the technology? Yeah. Look at all the books he has. Holy shit.
Yeah. Backpacks weren't invented yet, Adam.
Yeah. That's okay. All right.
That's what happened back in the day. There were no backpacks. Everyone just had to carry all their books all the time.
They had electric guitars, but no backpacks. It's crazy how we didn't figure that technology out.
It's insane. So yeah, he bumps into Biff. Biff does the whole like make like a tree and get out of here.
He botched it. He botched the delivery.
Botched it. So yeah, he's telling him again. It's like, come on, man, you gotta try and hit on her. And he's like, no one on earth will ever get me to ask her out. So knowing that George loves science fiction, Marty wears the hazmat suit and says he's Darth Vader from Planet Vulcan, and he's playing Van Halen.
Is it this? I forgot how you do it. And
he's playing Van Halen in the headset to like torture him. But I love the next day. He's like, Darth Vader told me how to do this. He's like, that's great. And then he goes, make sure not to bring any of that up when you're talking to her. Don't mention the spaceman. But I'm thinking of like, what is like older George would be insane in the future. He's like, a spaceman came to me and no one believes me.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he did write the science fiction love story about it.
He did. Maybe that's his way of telling the world because he kept it a secret between him, Marty, and the spaceman.
Yeah, because the George of the future after this whole thing plays out is a lot more well-adjusted and just like he thinks things through. So he's probably like, okay, this is my secret way of telling everyone what's going on.
Real quick, George calls him Marty, right?
Yeah.
Because what's her face? Lorraine keeps calling him Calvin Klein because he had a Calvin shirt, and they assume he's Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
So yeah, he tells him to go in there and try to hit on the girl, and he does a really terrible job. He's supposed to say you're my destiny, but he screws it up. It's not working, and Biff doesn't help things. I love when Marty trips him and Biffs him. I love Marty like looks up and then looks down to see like how big Biff is. He's like, oh fuck.
I love everything about how Marty is constantly like fucking with this guy. Like he hates Biff because of the future, so he is not afraid to just like deck him and stand up to him, even though he's way outmatched. I appreciate it every time.
It was fun. So yeah, he gets out of there and then he invents skateboarding.
Yes. He steals it from that kid, rips up the top.
Yeah, some like makeshift scooter a kid had. He just rips it off and he invents skateboarding, leads him on a chase around town.
Which is fantastic. This scene, by the way, this was the moment where I uttered out loud watching it. God damn, this movie's still fantastic.
Yeah.
That chase scene is so good. Like how it's shot, the sparks coming off the board, just the way that everything looked pretty practical, even when they had the stunt double for Michael J. Fox. It still looked really, really well done. And then there's
this movie is still super entertaining. Like they're really, really entertaining. And he crashes them into a big pile of shit. And I love how all of this gets like brought up again in the second film.
Yeah, doesn't he get it in his mouth in the sequel? He like spits some out. Just nasty.
So back at the lab, he's making a big hook to attach to a cable. And I like that he makes this model, and he goes, "Apologies for the crude model. I didn't have time to build it to scale or paint it." And meanwhile, it looks amazing.
I laughed so hard at that. I forgot that line. He apologizes. This is not to scale.
I do like, if you look though, it looks like he did like one coat of paint over bottles and a toolbox and everything.
This is incredibly well put together for a small amount of time that he had.
So he like shows him the car, sparks it. He almost burns down the place. It crashes into some lead-based paint, so he's probably poisoned himself. I'm
just thinking if they like redid this movie, he would somehow have some bullshit hologram version that would be like super state of the art and like a high def looking thing. I hate thinking about it.
It's funnier this way.
Sorry. Yeah.
The only other good model that I've seen is George Costanza's model of The Office. The Power Rangers, this guy should be you. And it's the M&M.
Peanut M&M.
When did you do this? During work on my free time.
I spent the last hour putting together a candy bar lineup. Took you an hour.
So I love that Lorraine shows up, and like this is when Emmett Brown realizes that Marty hasn't fixed the parent situation yet. He's like, "Oh no!" He's like, "Marty, you got to get this shit under control."
Well, not only has he not fixed it, it's gotten way worse because now the mom is in love with her son.
Yeah. So I like here they come up with the plan. Speaking of things that probably wouldn't be in a remake, he's like, "Don't worry, I'm going to sexually assault her in a car, and then you're gonna come rescue her." I don't think you're going to see that in any comedies coming up.
This was a not a well thought out idea from the get go. When he said that, I just thought, what if she's into it? And
another Seinfeld, she's into it.
And also, like your goal is to kind of like grope your mom. That would be really weird to even attempt to do, let alone have it run through your mind. He couldn't have came up with anything else.
Adam, when you're stuck in the past, you have to do everything you can to get back to the future, okay? Sometimes you got to do these horrifying things. He's telling him
if that means taking your mother to climax, then so be it. That's what it takes. Yeah.
Now I'm just remembering Futurama where he accidentally has sex with his grandmother, so he's his own grandfather.
That's right.
And I love they brought it up in a later episode with time travel. He's like, we have to do this so no one ends up becoming their own grandfather, and they all look at Fry.
Oh my god! Wait, that's not who the kid version is, right? Or is that who's that one? You know, the shitty little version of Fry. His like, is it his nephew or his?
I think it's a clone. They make a clone.
That's his clone. Okay, I love that kid. I forgot. Yeah. It's been a long time.
So he's telling the plan to George, like, when I'm doing this, you got to be there at exactly this time and beat me up, and then she'll fall in love with you. They get ready for the night of the dance. He's meeting up with Doc Brown, who's setting up the experiment, and this is like a big struggle. The whole movie, he wants to tell Doc Brown that he's going to die, and Doc Brown doesn't want to listen to it. He's like, do not tell me, it'll break the space-time continuum. It can have horrifying results. Don't do that. They really, really struggle with it. So he decides to write a whole note, letting him know, like, don't open till 1985. When we get to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance,
we got the is it the cousin or the brother of Chuck Berry?
It's the cousin. It's his cousin. Marvin Berry.
That's right. I got a sound I think you're gonna really like.
You know that new sound you're looking for? We're skipping it. I love this. I love this where he's like, okay, my mom's a nice gal. I know if I try to pull some creepy shit, she won't be into it. And then he parks. She's drinking and smoking. And she's like, I parked with boys before. He's like, no, Mom, stop. And he's like real nervous. He's like, oh, I didn't realize she'd be into it. Oh no.
Everything she was lecturing her daughter about at the beginning, she's of course guilty of herself. Classic mother parenting.
Are parents hypocrites?
Yeah. It's
Not you, though. I'm sure you're not.
No, I'm not. No.
You're one of the good ones.
I'm the only good one. Yeah. Subscribe. Subscribe for good parenting.
I think that's one reason I can't be a parent. I'm really like bad at lying. So if I have to tell a kid like I never did that, I'd be like, all right, look, I did do what you want to do, and it was a bad idea. Let me tell you how it didn't work out.
You lie one time and they call your bluff right away. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna level with you now. All right, I did a lot of cocaine back in the day. Okay.
Well, no, actually, it might benefit me because I'll be like, all right, guys, I know you're going to do drugs. I did drugs once, and I opened up a show in LA, and I was way too high, and everyone made fun of me for 2 years. Here's video of all my friends making fun of me on their podcasts about the time I got too high, and they'll be like, oh, wow, my dad's a loser. I better not do drugs.
You know, I never actually knew the like explanation of that. I just remember some of the fallout of like video clips. Typically, it was you that was sharing them of yourself. Yeah, sort of like 8 Mile Emineming yourself, I guess. But I didn't see I didn't know like the history of it, so it's good.
When I went to LA, we went to a dispensary. I'm like, I just started doing edibles. I'm like, let me eat this one, not looking at the milligrams. And Mint Salad has since told me that it was 250 milligrams. Adam, I do 10 at the most.
Okay, I don't know the ratio. I don't know the milligram amount.
Adam, I also didn't know the ratio. That's why I went on stage way too messed up and got made fun of. So yeah, I can just show my kids the video of me looking like an asshole. It didn't help that I was in the Rocky IV tracksuit the entire time.
Oh, that actually does help, I think.
My favorite story from that night was after the show, I was just wandering around the bar, going in and out of consciousness. I would wake up in the middle of a conversation, didn't know what was happening. But some guy who was a fan of mine was like, oh my God, Tony, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, did I do good on the show? And he's just, and he goes, I don't know what show you're talking about. I'm just here for the bar. I'm like, oh, wait, you're just a fan of mine that happens to be here when I'm high off my head? I don't even know if that really happened. I might just imagine that. Anyway,
I picture one of those fisheye lenses on a camera in front of you, and you're like sweating, and you're like hitting the drinks. Tony! And then you're on the stage, and you completely fuck it up.
I should not have been on stage. I don't know why they brought me back on stage. So she kisses him.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know how to explain this, but when I kiss you, it feels like I'm kissing my own brother.
Can we back up like, yeah, right. So right before this happens, okay, I need you to translate what he said because I was a little confused. He said, hey, Lorraine, you know when you're supposed to do something, but you're having second thoughts about doing it? Was he having second thoughts about actually making out with his mom? Like he thought it was an okay thing to do? Or what was that all about?
I think he was second guessing his plan because it got too real.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like second guessing it, he should have been completely out at that point if it was even questionable. Like, I don't know, I might be banging my mom in about 5 seconds here.
Ken, Adam, neither of us have been stuck in the past and had a very specific set of things we have to do to get to the future. We don't know how we would do under this situation.
He set this plan up. This was his plan. All right, I'm going to start groping my mom. Then you're going to come in and knock me out, okay? The groping is essential for this plan to work.
There was no other plan.
All he had to do was like be an asshole to her, or he could have just been in the car. He could have just said, you know what, I don't really like black people. What do you think about that? Like, that probably had an okay chance of getting him kicked out of the car, unless she was also racist, in which case he's like, fuck, my mom sucks.
Oh.
Like, you didn't have to start making out with her.
Fuck, what was I going to say? God damn it. The whole thing.
I love this movie, but Marty's plan was just ill-informed from the beginning.
Oh. You know, we've been reviewing we've reviewed all the Mission Impossibles this year, and at some point, me and Angela, when we were doing the commentaries, we're like sitting there. I'm like, at some point when they come up with these missions, I feel like they just want to have fun. This can't be the only way to do this. He just wants to have fun.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to steal a skateboard. I'm going to do a 360 into a grind. We're going to do a revert into a manual. What are you fucking talking about? We have to go to the bank over here. We're depositing Jeffrey's check. Okay, fine.
So George is late to the plan, but Biff is there. Biff yanks him out, and Biff is like, all right, Biff is like, I'm gonna get lucky. And knowing what happens in the future, if I was Lorraine, I'd be like, can you stop having Biff come around? I don't really like Biff coming around.
That's
so
a
he's
good
like,
point.
I'll get handsy with her in here. So his boys take care of Marty. They put him in the trunk of the guy's car.
Although Biff has basically in the future been turned into Reek from Game of Thrones. He is just
I don't know Game of Thrones, so
well, one of the characters gets his penis chopped off by the villain, and he's subservient to him for the rest of for a large majority of the show. He's like, "Yes, master. Yes, whatever you say, master."
I mean, I feel like that's a rule. If that happens to you, you have to do that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Makes sense.
Computer's not plugged in. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in because the low battery just came up. So we're running on fumes right now.
Oh no! Do you need 1.21 gigawatts?
I sure do, Tony. I like the reference.
Plug it into plug the battery into the car and drive around town in a lightning storm. It's the only Adam. That's my plan. It's the only way to keep the stream going.
I'm singing the song. I could put it on, but I want to sing it. What the fuck are you doing? Neighbors yelling at me in his boxers. I need to get this car up to 88 miles an hour.
They're like, that doesn't seem hard to do. So they lock him in the car, and it's the car that belongs to the band. And the one band member gets out, and they use an old timey racist term. I don't even hear racists use this term anymore.
No.
But they didn't realize how many guys were actually in the car. So they all run away because they don't want to deal with reefer addicts. So they get out of there. He's stuck in the car. They're trying to pry him out of the car. George does show up. He shows up.
Welcome to Earth.
He shows up not expecting Biff, which scares him. But yeah, he the power of love makes him knock out.
I know you're wondering how I got here.
So yeah, she decides, you know what? George is really nice. We forgot to mention when the band member was cracking open the trunk, he accidentally sliced his hand. They're like, the dance is over unless you know someone who can play guitar.
That was great.
Luckily, it was Michael J. Fox.
It was a great it was a perfect transition too, because then it goes to like his hand on a guitar and
Earth Angel. Real quick, I gotta pull up a fun fact for
Thomas looks so damn good in this dress too. Just a shout out to the dress. Just a great look.
Shout out to Leah Thompson.
Shout out to Leah Thompson.
Everyone let her know that 40 years ago she looked really good in this dress. But yeah, so they haven't really kissed yet. And while they're dancing, some other guy comes in. Is like, "Can I have this dance?" Which I've never seen in my life. That's something you see in movies where they go, "Can I cut in?"
Yeah.
That
happened all the time to me. That used to happen all the time. Guys would cut in, ask if I could dance with them. Yeah. I'm already dancing with Jeff over here, but that's fine. I'll cut in. Yep.
It's a little curveball there. I thought it was going in one way.
No, I took it in a different way. Yeah.
I only see it in old movies, and I'm like, that seems very rude. I'd be like, no, bro, fuck off.
Fuck off.
But yeah, he ends up pushing that guy and kissing her. Everything's great, and Marty's back. His brother and sister are back. Everyone's happy, and then he plays Johnny Be Good.
This is the only part of the movie that does not hold up, and I don't think it really held up in the original run.
What do you mean?
The guy singing this is like, did you watch Saved by the Bell back in the day, Tony? You probably still watch it, I assume.
No, but Saved by the Bell was before my time. I know you were.
It's timeless. It's timeless. It's timeless. They'd have musical episodes and the cast would sing, but it would clearly not be their voices, and the voices they get sounded nothing like their real voice. I love that
you picked Saved by the Bell as if there aren't a million shows or movies that also do that. That was your go-to?
I picked Saved by the Bell because one, it's iconic as shit, and two, it's really egregious at how badly the voices don't match the actors that talk. So this is the example, because the guy that I can't remember the guy they got to do the singing here, but it does not sound at all like Michael J. Fox.
Fun fact about Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry. It's one of the songs included on the golden record that was sent out into space on the Voyager 1 probe. Did you know that?
Yeah, of course. Yes, everybody knows that.
Oh,
I didn't
I
know
told
that.
there's an upcoming. Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, we sent out a thing into space with like diagrams of our anatomy, and then we included like audio on this gold plate record, and they included like songs and music that were important to humanity, and Chuck Berry's Johnny Be Good is one of the music. So there's instructions. So the theory is that an alien will find this, somehow know the instructions and set it up and listen to it and be like, wow.
Oh, Johnny, go, Johnny, go. Yeah,
They all just start dancing. They're like, yeah.
Johnny, go. I can see it.
They come to Earth now. They're like, where is this Chuck Berry?
One of the aliens comes to Earth and the guitarist cuts his hand. He's like, does anybody else know how to play guitar? And it cuts to an alien with Earth Angel. He's got 3 fingers. Yeah. Earth Angel.
Oh, he changes the lyric. He's like, Glee Bark Angel, Glee Bark Angel. I wish you were Glee barking.
Yes.
So yeah, he's singing it. He invents rock and roll. Black people learn rock and roll from Marty McFly.
Of course. Yes.
Like they do.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's calling his brother Chuck Berry. Yeah, then he sees his parents there. He says goodbye to them. I like he calls him Marty. She's like, that's a good name. Like, that is kind of awkward now. Then she's like, I remember that guy I wanted to fuck and ended up with his dad. I want to name my 3rd kid after him. I like that she waited till the 3rd kid to put Marty there.
Yeah.
If she did it for the 1st kid, that would have been weird.
It was just one of those little earworms that stuck with her, but it didn't stand out till later. You know, kind of like stanza. It was like that. Yeah. That was just for you, Tony.
Thank you. And I love when he goes, hey, if you ever have a kid who burns the carpet, be nice to him. But like, that's a very specific thing to tell us.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the the carpet mishap episode of Back to the Future. They probably had it. It was probably in the cartoon that you missed.
Maybe is the cartoon streaming anywhere? Hold on,
the cartoon canon. That's what I want to know.
You know what I want to? Hold on one second. It is currently not streaming anywhere Daily Motion probably has it. They have everything.
Sure.
Yeah. It's probably an old VHS rip. But real quick, I played a couple of the Telltale games, but I never played the Back to the Future Telltale game. Did you?
I did. I played the first because they were kind of like chapters, right?
They were broken up with chapters.
I did maybe I did the whole thing. I think it was all free on PlayStation Plus at one point in time, and I did play through it because it was only like 4 hours, I think, to complete the whole thing. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Some people really didn't like it.
Oh,
I never got to play. I played the Jurassic Park one a couple times. That one was a lot of fun. And I played
you know what? Maybe I only played chapter 1 now that I think about it, because it was all in the town, so it must have been just chapter 1.
Is it still available? At the
know.
request of the publisher, it is unlisted. God.
No.
Was there a physical release? Hold on.
I got your physical release.
Huh?
I got your physical release, Tony.
Shut the fuck up.
I was actually going to look for my physical release of it, but that's fine. We can ruin the joke.
Hold on.
I want to
see if PS3 360. Huh. Not available to purchase. They have no prices on them. What the fuck?
You gotta have a fan. Fans send you shit all the time. Someone send Tony a copy of Telltale's Back to the Future, the complete game,
please.
And also the Nintendo Back to the Future, which is atrocious.
Not that one. Not that one.
That one's terrible.
Never mind. I can get it. One left in. I'm getting it. I do that show sometimes where I review the movie games based off the movies. Maybe I'm gonna do that.
That would be fun.
One. I recently did the Batman Begins PlayStation 2 game.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm purchasing a video game for a fucking video.
I didn't know. Yeah, we buying time right now.
Yeah. Someone. Oh, that was $37. Someone leave a $37 super chat.
Oh my god, really?
To justify me buying this? Yeah, because they don't print it anymore.
That's insane that it's not available on like Steam or on Xbox Arcade.
They unlisted it.
Because did Telltale go out of business? Is that what happened?
I think they did.
Yeah. It's on Steam. The first only episode 1.
Yeah. Actually,
It's
thank you for reminding me. I'm glad I did this because the new Jurassic's coming out. I should do a video for the Jurassic Park one. Anyway.
Was that one good? Was the Jurassic Park one good?
I had fun with it. Yeah.
Okay, I should try that one because the last one I did was the Batman Telltale series, and that was pretty solid.
I did the first. Yeah, I only played the first one. I didn't play the other one.
The Walking Dead's still superior.
I heard that one was good. I'm not a Walking Dead guy, but I hear it's really good.
Really good.
So he goes back to Doc Brown, and he shows him that the picture's fine and everything's great. And he goes, "Yeah, my dad never hit a guy before. It was like so unlike him." And he's like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "What? Is that bad?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. We'll have time."
We'll see how it shakes out.
We'll see what happens.
Change basically everything about their life.
So this gets tense because he tries to give him the note. He's like, "No, I don't want to know what happened." He rips it up. So Marty has to convince him he's gonna die. He doesn't want to listen. So he's like, "Okay, I gotta get in the car." Meanwhile, the plug gets undone. And he's like, "Oh shit!" So Doc has to climb up the clock tower to plug this thing in. Marty gets the idea to go back earlier, like a few minutes.
Save him from getting shot. Fun little aside, Tony. This is the second Christopher Lloyd movie that features an electrical current running through a cable that has to be plugged in at the last second.
Addams Family Values.
You got it.
Of course.
Do you think they watched that and are like, let's do an homage to Back to the Future because we got Christopher Lloyd? They probably did. It's a great scene. It's a great scene. I love that movie's so fucking good.
Oh yeah, both of them are great.
I love them. Yeah, love them.
Did you ever see the first teaser trailer for Addams Family?
I mean, I don't know.
It looks weird because they were gonna give him like a big fat neck, and in that teaser, Christopher Lloyd has this big neck prosthetic that they ended up not using for. When I first went to watch the teaser, I went, "Who the fuck is Fester in this thing?" And it's like, they tested it out for the teaser. And they went, "No, we're not using this for the movie."
Who's Fester? Where's Fester? Oh god, I was thinking of the second movie now.
It's great. So he decides to go back in time to a little bit further. So I love that he like plugs one end in and then the bottom plug gets unplugged.
Classic. So we've all been there. There.
He goes all the way down the cable. Lightning strikes. It hits the car. Boom. He's out of here. And then we get George Buck Flower. Adam, do you know who George Buck Flower is?
No, what the who?
Oh, Adam, I guarantee you've seen him in movies because he was notorious for playing bums in a million movies.
Really? Wow.
It was like hillbillies and bums. He played so many bums and vagrants up until the 90s. He was playing just random bums in movies to the point now, I'm like, that's George Buck Flower. This guy, I got this thumbnail from a YouTuber who just went through all of his bum videos.
That's crazy.
John Carpenter's used him several times.
Talk about being typecast. Wow.
He apparently didn't have a problem with it. He's like, yeah, sure. Fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So he returns Adam at the Lone Pine Mall.
There it is. There's the tie. I love it.
I love that it changed future just enough. Cool. Not like crazy.
I never caught that. That's wild.
That's how layered this movie is.
I
There's
know.
like things where as you get older, you're like, oh, I never thought about that before.
There's so much going on at this point in the film. You're just not focused on it.
Yeah. But he gets there too late because the car broke down. And Doc Brown gets shot again. But it turns out he did it. He has a bulletproof vest because that asshole broke his own rules.
Tape that fucker together. Love it.
I love what about the time space continuum? He's like, I figured, what the hell?
Yeah.
Which is, I can relate to that. I feel like it's very, I'm like, I figured.
And if you find out you're going to die, when that year runs around, you're probably going to go, I probably should tape this note. Probably should figure this out.
He drops Marty off and he lets him know he's going 30 years into the future as originally planned. They say goodbye to each other, and then the next day he realizes everything's nice at his house and they have nice jobs, and turns out his sister, now guys are calling her, Craig are calling her. And he has an office job. And like, look, his parents look great. She's so thin.
He's got shades on inside, which that's alpha confidence right
Pretty
there.
cool. That's
alpha.
Cool.
That's Sigma energy right there.
And Biff is a balding loser.
Trying to cut corners and only put one code on that thing.
What I meant was I just started the second code. And they're like, oh,
suit, though. He's hitting that freaking Squid Games tracksuit pretty hard.
Oh, they're like, oh, Biff, that character. The mom like, well, because of him, we're together. I'm like, wait, he was assaulting you. I don't know. I would be like, oh, that rapscallion. I'd be like, get that guy away from me.
Tried to struggle snuggle her 30 years back, but.
And then we find out that George wrote a science fiction book, A Match Made in Space by George McFly.
You gotta love it.
Oh, which is great. And then, we forgot to mention, he sees a really cool truck earlier in the film. He's like, one day, Jennifer, we'll be in a truck like that. And
it's the Wayne's World. She will be mine. Oh,
she will be mine. But yeah, no, it turns out he owns that truck now. And Adam, everything is great. What could go wrong?
Can't imagine.
Doc Brown comes back and he's like, in the future, your kids are total shitheads. You gotta save your kids.
And in 3 minutes' time, your girlfriend is gonna look totally different.
They don't even address that.
No.
And then here's one of those jokes that is like, it was one of those things that are funnier back then, the Mr. Fusion, because I think Mr. Coffee was like a newer thing. You see that a lot. There was I think there was some Mr. jokes in Spaceballs.
Yeah, it's kind of like the iPhone when that came out. There's a lot of I things in movies and stuff.
That's it. I feel like we got like the tail end of that, so we kind of get it. But I feel like, yeah, kids like 10 years from now are going to see I stuff and be like, what the fuck does that mean? Even though it does come from Isaac Asimov, but no one's connecting it to that. No. So yeah, he puts the new fusion stuff in there. It takes garbage. And Adam, there's no road for the car. How are they going to get speed?
Oh, Tony, you ignorant son of a bitch. Where they're going, they don't need roads.
Whoa, and the car fly.
You
know what's funny? Looking back at this, I'm just like, it really wasn't a super effects heavy film. And like all the effects in it are pretty sparingly.
Well, that's what makes the last shot so damn cool. It's like, holy shit, what? Imagine seeing that like I did in theaters when it came out as a 25-year-old. I was blown away. Like I never thought I'd live to see the day when we'd have a flying car on camera.
Yes, because in 2015 there were so many flying cars, Adam.
Well,
40 years later, this baby holds up really well.
It's like a fine wine.
I think 2 is the more like entertaining, like wackier one. But as I get older, I think 1 is the better movie. I really just enjoyed the 80s and the 50s because like the 50s, they talk about how like that was also, it made sense for the movie just because of the father and son, but also because the 50s was like the birth of like the teenager, really.
Yeah.
When they started to have an effect on culture and stuff. So it was like a lot of things were going on in the 50s that they thought could work there. Yeah, and it still works today. Now, I don't actually want a remake.
No,
but
God no.
I wouldn't mind something similar with a movie now and going back time. And as I say that, I realize they tried that with that Totally Killer movie that we reviewed a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I want to see something because you could do a lot of fun stuff with like now and the 90s.
Oh, you can do a ton of, fuck time travel. Just do anything. You don't have to call it Back to the Future. But
no, it doesn't have to do this. But like going back and hanging out with your parents at like when you're the same age, that is like a really fun idea.
It is.
But I don't think it needs to be a straight up Back to the Future.
Don't they do that in? So there was a movie with Bruce Willis. Oh my God, what was it called? And he hangs out with basically his little kid version.
Oh yeah, the kid. But that was
the
weird.
Kid. Yeah,
it's weird because like the kid, him from the past, just magically shows up in the future. I forget what the specifics were.
I forget it too.
But it really makes sense.
I thought it was kind of a good movie though, but it's been a long time since I saw it. Maybe.
But then they did Looper, where he hangs out with his younger self at the same time.
Yep.
And then everyone who watched that went, Loopers. I mean, I didn't. I was like, this movie's kind of stupid. But everyone else went, yes, this movie's great. This man should do Star Wars. It's a Rian Johnson movie, in case you forgot. Yeah, so everything still works. It's a classic. I'm glad they're not going to do like a straight up remake, but I feel like the overall idea of time traveling to be the same age as someone you know is a really good idea that should be explored for different generations. Also, it would be hard. You would have to like straight up remake it, which no one's really going to like, because then you'd just be swapping out the time period. But you also can't do like a legacy sequel because the future ended up being nothing like the future in the movie. You would have to explain why 2015 looked nothing like the 2015 in the other films, which I guess.
Oh, Tony, you use the multiverse, of course. You use the multiverse. No. Yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll multiverse it.
No.
Yeah. I already have it figured out. It's going to be Mary McFly is going to be the lead. And then the doc will also be a woman. I'm thinking Melissa McCarthy, possibly. Yeah, make her really dumb and pratfally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's all coming together.
It's gonna be
Biff
great.
can still be a white male, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Movie is still great. Everyone, get your super chats in. We're going to talk to two of our fans here.
Nice.
Who was here first? Devil Loner. Hello. Devil Loner.
You're muted.
Hello.
You're muted. Hello.
Anybody home?
McFly, and he's gone.
I swear to God, he just comes in because he wants to watch the StreamYard version, but not participate. But Adam,
Tony, do you know the name of that character from Toy Story 4? Or is he in 3? I think he starts in 3.
What was that, like a porcupine?
Yeah, it was like a porcupine character. He's like an actor, a Broadway actor.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know either. I was just wondering if you knew. He sucks.
Why the fuck would you? Okay. Adam, so you don't like Billy Zane's The Phantom?
I'm looking up porcupine character from Mr. Pricklepants. How do you forget Mr. Pricklepants, Tony?
I don't fucking remember. I know Slinky.
Come on.
Rex. The potato heads.
The classics.
Anyway, Adam.
Okay, sorry.
You don't like The Phantom? You're not a fan?
I tried watching it once when I was in, I was like 35 when it came out, and I didn't back in 90.
No, bring those. Hold on. Bring those figures back up. Bring your figures back up. You know who really likes The Phantom, Adam? Hold on. Lucha Steve.
Get up, Snake. Oh no.
That's not from the fan. Isn't that Back to the Future?
Destroyed the DeLorean. Oh,
Steve, you're on, and you're dressed like the Phantom.
I am dressed like the Phantom.
Now, Adam, you might have been confused. You might have thought I got Billy Zane playing with toys.
Of course.
Billy Zane, I didn't catch you playing with your toys again. No, we have Phantom Steve.
This is amazing.
Phantom Steve.
My whole bit got ruined.
Did you guys have this set up ahead of time? Did you say, okay, Adam's going to be on the stream. I'm going to casually bring up the Phantom. I know he's going to hate it. So we're going to have this pre-planned. We're going to dress up as the Phantom and come on.
No, it's more pathetic. The moment you said you didn't like the Phantom, I ran to my car to get the hood.
Oh, I thought it was going to be even more pathetic where you already were dressed as him for no reason at all today.
It was just a big coincidence. Yeah,
but no, I saw him holding up the props and then I saw him put him down. And that's why I was like, no, put it back up. I'm bringing you back on.
Nice. Phantom
Steve, who I think is different than Lucha Steve. You're wearing a mask. I can't tell. How do you feel about Back to the Future?
This is probably my favorite movie ever made, to be honest.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I spent like a lot of my high school years and my young adulthood trying to think like, what is my favorite movie? Unfortunately, I spent all my time trying to figure out what my favorite movies are instead of getting my life together. So
priorities.
So all I have that I know about myself is that Back to the Future is my favorite movie.
What about it really draws you in? Why is this?
It's kind of hard to. Cause I always like whenever people say, "Well, ask me why." I always like it's hard for me to put into words. I just think it's like a perfect movie, to be honest. I mean, I know there's like things you can pick at, and there's like issues with it. Like you guys were kind of pointing out the effects and stuff like that haven't aged that well, but like
but they don't ruin the movie.
I honestly think they've aged really well. There's like one shot that
this is one shot.
But still, it's such a fun
and
ride.
You've got like the 80s chroma key black line around everything, but like a lot of the stuff's at night, so it doesn't really bother me.
I watched another famous YouTuber's video on it, and they pointed out like with like like 4K, you can kind of see some of the old man makeup
Yeah.
around like
Mhm.
neck looking kind of like crap. But
Yeah.
like honestly, I don't care. This movie kind of taught me like not to care about small things if you enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I love the characters, I love the performances. Ever since I was a kid, I love Christopher Lloyd and anything he was in. So like Doc Brown's my favorite character of his. Michael J. Fox is just it's funny that like they couldn't get him at first and they had to try other actors because he is perfect for this role.
Yeah.
This is Michael J. Fox's role, and it's the main reason why I don't want to remake, because it's like I don't think anybody could ever be as good as Marty as Michael J. Fox was.
It's one of those things like there are sometimes I'll look at a role like Indiana Jones. I can't really see anyone else other than Harrison Ford. I know Tom Selleck was up for it. With Star Wars, I have seen Kurt Russell's audition tape as Han Solo. I can kind of see how he might have worked. But yeah, with Marty
we saw how it worked. They made a Solo prequel movie, and it wasn't great.
Yeah, well, I mean, even that guy was trying to be the Harrison Ford one, but like, yeah, and I've seen the footage of Eric Stoltz, and again, it's okay. It probably would have been fine, but yeah, it really had to be Michael J. Fox. It really couldn't have been anyone else.
No, yeah.
So you love all of Christopher Lloyd. Do you love him as Mr. Clipboard in Food Fight?
I guess.
Adam, do you know what Food Fight is?
That animated piece of shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't stay. I couldn't. I love bad movies, but I couldn't stand Food Fight. Like by like 45 minutes into it, I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
It's right up there with the animated Titanic 2.
Oh my god. But I do. It's nice to hear his voice in that.
Oh, nightmare fuel.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what's a bad Christopher Lloyd performance. I really can't think of anything.
Yeah, he's one of those, like, even if it's a bad movie, he'll probably be solid in it.
Yeah. Even like it's something like Mr. Mom, I'm just like, oh cool, he's in this for like 2 scenes.
Can you get this off the freaking video? This is nightmare fuel.
Hold on. How do I
keep it off?
How do I there we go.
There it is.
Another person that I think really like makes this movie so great is Tom Wilson as Biff. He plays like the perfect like douchebag.
Sorry, you said douchebag as he was dancing with laser light. Hold on, let me get us back to where we're supposed to be.
Okay.
What the
there
hell
it is?
This?
That's perfect.
There it is. There.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Back to the Future did the Matrix thing where they're like, "Well, we have this really good villain. Let's just have him be the villain for the rest of the movies."
Yeah.
So and Biff, he's coming back for no reason.
He's also the villain in the ride. In the ride, he steals a time machine, so you have to get in a different time machine and chase him all over the place. I think they still have the video up on YouTube. So, Adam, if you want to like get in like a chair, dress it like a DeLorean, you can watch the video and go like this.
Whoa. One of my biggest regrets in my life is I never went on that ride. I was at the Florida one, the Florida Universal Studios.
Yeah.
I'm in California where we have the Superior Universal Studios.
I've never been to that one.
It's better than the Florida one. But I was in line for it and it was taking too long. I was like, this is boring. I'll go another time. And then like 2 years later, they started taking them all down.
That sounds like a Back to the Future movie plot. You create a time machine to go back to go on the ride. It's perfect.
And it's just like I come back and my life is like all better just because I went on the ride.
Look, you missed out on the DeLorean versus a T-Rex. Come on.
That's cool.
You missed out on that.
I know. It makes me sad.
Speaking of time travel, do you want to see what the T-Rex looks like now? I just found a picture of it. Hold on.
Is it like rotting?
There it is. Whoa!
I thought you were going to do like a gag and bring up a photo of Sarah Jessica Parker or something.
It looks like the Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is still around. Fans found it. It's being used at some like museum or something. They've like
you don't throw something like that away.
Anyway, Lucha Steve, I'm sorry, Phantom Steve. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being a $10 page. I bet you've been really enjoying the Friday the 13th commentary tracks, right? You listen to all of them?
Definitely.
He probably would if I was on them.
You were moving.
If Phantom seems like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Definitely would have then.
Adam, we should have done it. You could have done it on your phone while driving across country. Just
just hear him cut out.
This is whoa. Oh, you scared of this part, Adam? No, I'm driving off the road into a ravine.
Would have been funny if you guys did the third one, and it's like, oh, it's coming at me. It's like, Adam, it's just an axe on the movie. No, there was like going to be a log coming at me, but I dodged it.
You just hear explosions and yeah.
It's just you on fire the rest of the commentary.
It's just chaos.
Before you kick me off, I do want to say that I actually really enjoy the sequels.
Yeah.
This movie for me, I haven't seen The Godfather 3. For all I know, that could be great.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
No, I mean I'll watch the Coda, the new cut, but I have a feeling it's not going to be much better.
It's hardly any different.
I know.
Yeah.
But Back to the Future is probably my favorite trilogy of all time. I think if like this movie is like an 11, I think like 2 and 3 are like 9s for me. Even though 3 is literally like it's 1, but Western, I still really enjoy it.
3's just not as rewatchable. I don't know what it is. I'll give it another shot.
No, it's just so different from the other two. It feels disjointed.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks.
I just really like Mad Dog Tannen, to be honest.
Mad Dog Tannen was cool. And I do love ZZ Top's cameo. And Dean Cundy, the cinematographer, is a cameraman in it. And I follow him on Instagram.
That takes the picture?
Yeah. I follow him on Instagram, and he's been taking prints to conventions of him with the old-timey camera that he's signing. So that's a lot of fun.
Like, hey, didn't you shoot Jack and Jill? And then he kicks you out of
yeah, don't bring that up. All right. I'm kicking you off because that made me sad. Dean Cundy shot some of the most iconic movies ever, and I think his last big screen film was Jack and Jill. Adam Sandler.
Gross! That makes me sad.
Last year we reviewed like one of the direct-to-video Scooby-Doo movies, and I saw cinematographer Dean Cundy. I'm like, what happened? Anyway, super chats. Quarter Cab Skateboarding member for 14 months says, "Does this count as a super chat?" Sure.
You didn't do the end of it. Does this count as a super chat?
Oh my God, your ass just fell off from laughing so much.
My ass off, yeah. Oh shit!
Mixed Meow 182 for $10 says super chat is fun.
Okay,
nice.
Thank you.
Quarter Cab Skateboarding again for $2. Lots of big anniversaries this year. Jaws is 50. Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, it is, King. Tony, do you want to see my Jaws Lego set?
Oh.
Okay.
I've already reviewed all the Jaws movies, but don't worry, guys. One, I think there's something Jaws coming out. Not like a movie, something related to Jaws coming out. But 2, next month I'll be reviewing a different shark movie. It's Deep Blue Sea. Anyway,
okay.
The 90s guy for $10. I love Hack the Movies. You all do good work. Have $10. Well, 90s guy, actually, YouTube takes a percentage. So could you send more money so it evens out to like a $10?
Take like 35-40%. It's crazy.
Yeah. You know, just send like an even 100 next time. I think that'll be $10 in the long run. Aussie Dragoon for $5. Once again, Billy Zane's purple spandex has ended one of Tony's relationships. And then Aussie Dragoon again for $2. For Pete Christopher Lloyd, look up the Oogie Loves. Okay, the Oogie.
It sounds like it has to be amazing.
What the? This is like a kid's show. Is he in this? What is this?
Oh yeah, that's like Teletubbies 2.0.
Is he in it?
Teletubbies 2.0, really.
The Oogie Loves.
He's maybe he's like a guest character or something. The Oogie Loves.
Oh, here he is in
Lloyd.
In like the Cuban,
he's there.
In like a Cuban Pete outfit.
Yeah. He's
okay.
He's with some smoke show. Who's this woman?
I'm not gonna watch it. Although I do see my friend Brad, the cinema snob, he reviewed it. So actually, that one I might watch. I might watch his review of it. I don't think I'm gonna actually watch the real thing.
Wait, isn't that the chick from? Is that the one from like My Name Is Earl and stuff?
Oh, Jamie Presley.
Presley, yeah.
Yes,
Kinda
that
looks
is
like
her.
her.
That is Jamie
Okay.
Presley.
Okay, all right. Well, we learned something today, that there's a show
So
called Oogie Loves, and Christopher Lloyd and Jamie Presley are
it's
in
an
that.
interactive educational children's musical adventure fantasy comedy.
Sure it is.
Okay.
I'm sure it is.
Guys, get any last minute super chats in. Adam, what do you got going on over there?
Well, Tony, I was in the middle of editing my Megan 2.0 review, which I'm hoping to have up within 30 minutes after getting off this never-ending stream. And then after,
Like the gun was to your head. I'm like, Adam, do you want to do it?
yeah. Doing you a favor. No, after that, I love Back to the Future, so this has been a blast. I love reliving the film. After that, I got F1. That review will hopefully go out tomorrow. The Brad Pitt movie, F1 short, of course, for Formula One. And then that's all I know about cars. Is that F1 short for Formula One? And after that, I don't know. We'll see where the wind takes us. Maybe I'll carry on with the stellar new Disney Plus series Ironheart. I got some good reactions on that first review that I did. I was only called racist, I think, 40 times or so by really intelligent individuals.
You want me to send you want me to send my good friend Manny Muskets into the comments to defend you? He'll do it.
I think I'm okay. I think I'm fine. Yeah. Okay. But no, it's been a journey. So yeah, look for those videos.
Well, Adam. Speaking of black people in armor and Manny Muskets, you should go back to last week. I reviewed Steel, starring Shaquille O'Neal. The Superman movie based off a Superman character.
Superman adjacent, we'll say.
The writer removed all references to the larger DC universe, and I'm like, well, this character is really only popular literally from the Superman thing where he died. But okay, we did that one. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, subscribe.
Have you done was it Kazam? Have you done that one yet?
I did that on rental reviews, and it's funny because the bad guy in the movie, the Middle Eastern guy, for some reason looks exactly like my Italian dad. So when Shaq kills him at the end, I'm like, I feel like Shaq's killing my dad, and I don't like this.
I mean, it really was a Shaq summer for a while. He had movies, he had video, he had Shaq Fu, the video game.
Yep.
Another game you should probably add to the cart, Tony.
Yeah, I'm good. I should clip the thing. I used it for one of the teasers, but Manny's bit for the whole video was that he refused to believe Shaquille O'Neal played basketball. He's like, no, he's a hip hop artist. Yeah. I know all his albums. He has a song with Biggie Smalls. I'm like, yeah, but he's
the guy that does the meme with the cat.
I'm like, Manny, he also played basketball. Manny goes, that's racist. I'm like, no, it's not. He actually played basketball.
That's awesome.
So yeah, a lot of fun videos recently. Check all those out. Like both of us, join both of our Patreons, and all that stuff. We will see you all later. Have a great weekend.
See you guys. Wait a minute. How did that happen? Whoops.
Sorry. Real quick. Is that one of the new shorter ones, or is that original?
Yeah, they waited until I got the 100,000, and they said we're gonna put out these like paper thin pieces of shit. Yeah. Let me see if I can grab it.
It pisses me off that they made a smaller version.
A tiny little guy. Mama, Tony, take me. You'll get one. You'll get there, kid.
I'll get there. Everyone watching, subscribe.
You just got to review some Jennifer Lopez movies that went straight to Netflix, and they'll take you to the top.
No, I purposely left one off last year, and now I'm just like, maybe I should have left it on. Fuck, the one where she's in the mech suit that looked like shit.
Oh yeah, what was that? Atlas.
Yeah.
Atl ass is what I called it. Yeah. It's really creative.
Adam, I gotta figure out what movie we're gonna do for Boys Month 3. We gotta do a Boys Month together.
Yeah, Boys Month 3.
August is coming around, buddy. I can't wait for Boys Month.
Can you do the Boys Month like the S is a 3 instead of an S? Boys with 3. Boys Month 3.
That makes sense at all.
No, it doesn't. That's what makes it good. You gotta do it just for no reason.
All right. Wait, hold on. We gotta. Did we get anything on Twitch? Did we get any bits on Twitch? It doesn't look like we did.
Okay, you know what you can do, Tony? Make the B capital and then just highlight the ass of the B, so it's a 3. That's what you do.
That's what that's called, the ass of the B.
The ass of the B.
Adam, before we leave, we can't neglect the Rumble chat. We've been neglecting it.
You're on Rumble. That's right.
I have Rumble here and nothing. Okay, that's it from us. Goodbye, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.